Hi, folks. This is Jack. I appreciate you stopping by. This is, I'm going to tell you the story about Connie and I. That's my wife. We've been married and together for 55 years now. She's the biggest part of my life by a long ways. We met back the last day of high school. We met. I had seen her around school and everything. And I was living on my own at the time, and going to school. And but I had seen her in a class or two I had. I think it's journalism or something like that. And she's a really pretty gal, really nice. Anyway, so I knew one of her girlfriends real well. And after we graduated, that day, one of her girlfriends came up and says, "Are you going to the senior all-nighter?" Which was, it was in the Bay. It was we went to school and stuff in the Bay Area, and this was quite a while, quite a drive. It was off into the Santa Cruz Mountains, and they were having some kind of a get-together there. I can't remember what it was now. And I had a car, and so I says, Betsy, I didn't really have anything to do. Like I said, I was living on my own and everything. I was just going to go home, She says, "Well, you want to take me and my girlfriends to the senior all-nighter?" I thought, yeah. I mean, I was just going to go home, watch TV, and go to bed. So anyway, so it turned out that I think there was Betsy, Connie, and I think there was another girl. And so we got in, picked them up, and we had to pick up Connie last, I think it was, went to her house. And I met her mom. And her mom says, by the way, I think she gave us a bottle of champagne, which I thought was kind of funny because later I found out her mom was kind of a, not strict, but very loving, very, very loving person. I love her dearly. She's passed now. But anyway, it was kind of weird for her to, I thought, bottle of champagne with a strange guy and three girls. So anyway, we hopped in the car, and I had to get gas, so I stopped in and pumped the gas. And when I got back in, Connie had there was a girl sitting next to me. And Connie had told her, had switched with her, so Connie was sitting right next to me. Turned out Connie told me she had a crush on me, and wanted to get to know me better, so she swapped. So anyway, so we started heading off toward the Santa Cruz area, and I had to stop in Fremont because I had a really close friend of mine, George, and he was in college, and I was thinking to myself, geez, I got to stop and see if I can get George up because he said, he's going to like this. So I stopped, and it was getting pretty late, maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night, and he was in bed because he was going to college. He had finals the next day, so I was tapping on his bedroom window. And he gets up. "What are you doing, Jack? What do you get? What's wrong?" Nothing. I says, "Hey," I says, "We got this senior all-nighter thing going on down. You ought to come." No. He goes, "Man, I got finals and all this in college tomorrow, and man, I can't miss this. I got to make sure I'm up." I says, "Hey, I got three girls in the car and a case of beer too." He goes, "I'll be right out." So he went out. So all of us head on down to my '63 Chevy Impala. Back then it was all jacked up in the rear. Back in the day in the '60s, everybody was jacking their cars up in the rear. So the cars would sit kind of like this, had the big tires on the back, and that's where mine were. So we headed on down to Santa Cruz, and long drive when we got down there. But anyway, we had a pretty good time. And it was breaking dawn And it was a work day. It was a work day, like, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday or something. And we were heading home with all the girls in the pack. And I had air shocks. For people not into cars, but for a second, it's kind of funny. We had air shocks which jacked the rear end of the car up, and held it up there. Well, one of the lines broke. And so the rear end of the car was just on these coil springs. So every time I hit the brakes, they could bounce. And I'm going through Santa Cruz and all these cities trying to get back with all these people, in the car, and it's just bouncing, just bouncing around. It was, well, I thought it was funny anyway, pretty funny. So but that's how Connie and I met, and so I instantly kind of knew that she was one for me. I had quite a few girlfriends in the past. She had a boyfriend or two, and we clicked. Connie said we had talked a little bit in the car and stuff, or quite a bit. And she said the same thing. She says, she asked me what I wanted in a woman, in a wife, and all that. And I told her, well, we talked, and I knew she was it. Because I'd had quite a few girlfriends and stuff, and like I said, and I just knew she was it. There was something that clicked from that. So we had been together ever since, and we were both 18 years old, I think, then, and we were together ever since then. And she's turned out to be, the love of my life, and she says I'm the love of her life too. But after 55 years, there must be something going, because we're still, well, I don't think we've had one or two arguments, and that were serious arguments, not serious, but more of a argument you remember, I guess you could say. And she's given me 4 sons, and we have, I think, 14 grandkids. Now we have 2 on the way right now, and they're great grandkids. I think we have 9 regular grandkids, and this will be 5 great grandkids. So it's pretty good. But I remember when I wanted to move the mountains, she didn't want to go, because we went way out. I mean, it was, it wasn't like we're going to move to some city out in the woods. I mean, out in the forest. This was out there, and she went, dragging her feet a little bit, but she went, gave it her all, and we made a go of it. And I think that's good. Connie's is a great homemaker, and she started out to be just that, raising the kids and homeschool for a long time and things like that. But as time went on, we got the restaurant, or the occupations that I had, self-employment, and she's always pitched in and helped and learned. Hey, I'm talking about you, Con.
No.
What's up?
Oh, nothing.
But anyway, so we've been together now for 55 years. But anyway, a short little video about how we met, and I hope you enjoyed it. But we're now that it's weird when you've been together for so long, like 55 years. I was thinking one day, I thought, well, if we were 55 years been together, so if we were born, or we went in 1900, we would have gone all the way to 1955, just how long we've been together. And, with the Industrial Revolution, and gone for horseless carriage to cars, and I thought that was fascinating, but maybe you didn't think so, but I thought that was a pretty good deal. But when you've been with somebody so long, I don't know the right word. We're like an institution or something. I don't know. We say a lot of things together. We're gonna say the same words sometimes. It's really something how we become. It's almost like you become one person even. It's kind of weird. I guess you'd have to, for you people out there that do have a lot of years together with your spouse, it's like you're just one person. You're not two people living separate lives. You're two people living one life. Does that make sense? Yeah. But anyway, but I love her dearly. She's the love of my life and always will be. And now that we're old and we're finishing up our lives together now. I mean, we're not dead yet, but we're on the the last so many years or whatever it's going to be. And so it's weird, like I said, when you go from a kid, 18-year-old kid, all the way to 73. She's 6 months behind me, and it seems like we've always been together. It seems my whole adult life I've been with her. I don't know anything else, and I'm glad it's that way. I'm a marrying kind of guy, and she's a marrying kind of woman. So anyway, but she is a great housewife, a great wife, and she's my best friend. I know a lot of people may think, well, I got my wife, then I got my friends over here. She's my number one friend. I never wanted to really hang out with my other friends because she's my number one friend. And if I had to take a day and hang out with my friends, that's a day that I could have hung out with my wife, who's my number one friend. Does that make sense too? I don't know. Sorry guys, I don't mean to ramble on, but I just wanted to, she's a biggest part of my life and always has been. So as part of my channel, talking about my life here in the woods and everything, I wanted her included. Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye.